Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi zidna ilma sanadkuruka fala tansa. On our last class, we discussed about a simple equation. Whereby I told you that to solve simple equation, we have two major methods: balance method and transposition method. We discussed how to solve with balance method. I'll briefly explain how to solve using transposition method as well. Today, we want to see the next aspect of our last term work, which is linear inequality. You are told then that equation and inequality, they are of the same way. They are like the same thing, but they have just one aspect in difference, which is the sign. As when you have 2x plus 2 equal to 5, it will be called equation. When it is now 2x plus 2 less than 5, that means it's now an inequality, as the name connotes. The first side, the right side, is not equal. It's not exactly equal to the left hand side. That is how it's called inequality. If it is equation, the right hand side must equal to left hand side. That is why we call that one equation. This one is called as inequality because this side is not equal to this side. How can we solve it? We can also use balance method for it as well as a transposition method because they are the same form. We just assume that the sign here is like equal to. Then we operate the way we are taught. Let's see. We have x plus 2 less than 5. If it is equal to, it means we have to subtract because these two have plus. Whether it's equal or not equal, since it's of this nature, we want to use balance method, you have to subtract 2 from both sides. From right hand side, you subtract 2. From left hand side, you also subtract 2. As this. At the end, you have 2 minus 2, that one has gone, less than 5 minus 2 gives us 3. Our x will now be less than 3. That's our final answer. Let's see the second one. Here we have 5 minus 2x less than 3. If you look at this, our variable here has the minus. That will make it a little bit different from this. Then our variable in the first question does not have minus. Here, our constant is what we want to remove first, which is having positive sign. Because of this positive sign here, the unswung positive sign here will lead us to subtracting 5. In that case, we subtract 5 from both sides. How to subtract? We have 5 minus 2x initially, then we subtract 5. Less than 3 initially, then we subtract 5. From there, this will give us 3 minus 5 will give us minus 2. And 5 minus 5, that one has gone. So we are left with minus 2x. We have to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? That is 2. We have to divide both sides by 2. Now, another thing coming. Whenever you are dividing by negative value, the sign of your inequality will change. Assuming we have less than before, once you are dividing by negative value, that one will change to greater than. If it is less than or equal to, once you are dividing by negative value, it will change to what? Greater than or equal to. And vice versa. That is what happened here. When you divide your minus 2x by minus 2, the sign initially here is less than. It will change to greater than. Why is it changing? Because we are dividing by negative value. Then this, like that. 2 here give us 1. We are left with x. 2 here give us 1. That's our x is now greater than 1. There are some cases whereby you have to change your sign without using dividing by negative. What will happen there? When you are rotating the position of sign of the symbol, Assuming you have something of this nature, 2 is greater than x. When you want to rewrite it, you can write it as x is less than 2. Take for instance, you are told that, assuming our s is 5, you are told that 2 is greater than 5. It is not possible. Assuming you have s1 here, it's greater than 1. You want to change it, you want to reframe that statement. You can say 1 is less than 2. 1 is less than 2. That's why this one is possible. When you are changing the location, the position of a variable, your sign will also change. When you are dividing by negative, your sign must change. When you are changing the position of variable, your sign must change. That's what we want us to get there. Let's quickly see the third question. In the third question, we have brackets there. The first thing to do, the third question says 2 into brackets 2x plus 1 close brackets, everything less than 14. Everything less than 14. These brackets will firstly be removed before you can calculate anything there. If you don't remove this bracket first, it may make your work difficult. Remove the bracket, you're having what? 2 times this, 2x plus this 2 also multiply by this. By expansion, you have less than, nothing will multiply this because it has nothing beside it. You are left with what? 4x. 4x. You don't have 4x. We have 4x plus 2 times 1 is 2. Everything less than 14. You can see your equation has now resembled the one you can solve easily. Then you continue by thinking of what are we doing? Are we adding or subtracting? Because our constant here are plus, then we are subtracting. In that case, you subtract 2 from both sides. So let's apply that. We have 4x initially plus 2. Then we are subtracting 2. Less than, we have initially here 14. Then we subtract 2. From there, we have 4x to be less than 12. Then the next thing is what? To divide. To divide both sides by 4, the coefficient of our x. That will give us what? 4x divided by 4. Everything will less than. Here, our sign will not change because we are dividing by positive, not negative. As soon as it is negative or minus 4, then we change our sign to greater. So in this case, you don't need to change because you are not dividing by any negative. So in that case, let's quickly cut down. Here 1, here 1, here 1, here 3. We are left with what? X less than 3. That's our final answer. When we are discussing this topic, you are told about number line. You are told about number line. Whereby I told you that to represent any inequality value on a number line, you have to label your number first. Number line is something like this, whereby we have center 0. This is positive side, while this side is negative. I mean, your right side is positive, while your left side is negative. The values here are increasing positively, and so on. While the value here are decreasing, minus 1, minus 2, as we all know that minus 2 is less than minus 1, so minus 3, minus 4, and so on and so forth. To represent any of these getting value as your on the number line now, take for instance the value of our second question, which is x less than 1, which is x less than 1. We have x mean greater than 1. You come to where you can see 1 on the number line. You can see this minus 1, that's not where we are going to. We have 7 here, that's not where we are going to. This is where we have 1. So you are going to that place where you get 1. Then you have to mark it and ring that location. You now tell me, is your x greater or less? If it is greater, then your arrow will show me the greater side. If it is less, your arrow will come to the lesser side. This diagram is diagram of x greater than 1. The next one, assuming we have x is greater than or equal to minus 3. In this one, having your number line, you start from the center 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. As like that, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, as you want it, minus 4. You now come to where you can see your value, minus 3. The minus 3 is here. You ring it. Then you show me the arrow. Is it greater? Because minus 2 is greater than minus 1, then the thing goes like this. You have greater. Because of this equal to show me the thing is even equal to and greater, you have to fill your circle. Beginning of the circle shows me you have equal to. Leaving the circle unshaded shows me it does not have equal to. That is how to represent on number line. I think with this, we have go back on the inequality. So let me quickly show you some things to do as your assignment. Actually, the last given assignment, I've not seen anybody giving me the feedback. No submission, no anything. So I will expect you to join the two together and send it to me. So to have correction, and I will be able to mark it as well. This is assignment 2 actually. The first one has been given. One, you have to solve. Seven minus 4x greater than or equal to 12. B, 18 less than 6x plus 5. 2. Solve and represent the value on a number line. Which one? A. 7x plus 1 less than 27. That is that about the assignment. Inshallah, our next class we meet, we'll be able to solve the assignments together and see what will happen on it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم إنك على القرآن والسلام. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأستغفر الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.